What's up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here. We are back in the world of Call of Duty. We're doing a little FFA on Hijacked. I'm back on the shotgun because I just prestiged again, which means I basically have absolutely nothing other than a few of the weapons that I kind of went to, and the Remington happens to be one of the first weapons you get. It's solid, so we're going to go ahead and run with that for this video. Today we're going to be talking about TGN, or I believe it's the Game Network. I'm not sure about the actual name. I was a partner with them for about 3 weeks, I think it was, before I moved to Maker Studio /RPM/TGS. And to kind of be fair, I will say I am no fan of TGN. So this may be a biased review. I will try my best to give you guys the pros and cons, and then you guys can kind of make up your own mind. Well, let's talk about the pros. The pros, it is a gaming-oriented network, which means you will have a lot of other partners that have very similar network or very similar channels to what you do. You'll be able to find collabs if you're active on their forums, and the community for the most part seems to be fairly friendly and fairly open. The other positive about the network is it's fairly easy to get into. They do have a very low barrier to entry. I think it's 1,000 views a day on average, which is about 30,000 a month. That's not too hard for anybody who's serious about YouTube, and it's something. Partnership isn't about fun. It isn't about perks. In the end, it is a business decision. It is about money. So if you are looking to make some form of financial gain for what you do on YouTube, TGN is a very easy network to get into. And that pretty much wraps up my thoughts of the positives. They do have a forum so that you can get up there and talk to people. But the forums change a lot. They have a lot of advertising type stuff with all of the TGN videos. They also have hub channels that you can use if you can get access to those. So let's talk about the negatives. And like I said earlier, not a fan, so I'm going to be a little biased. I was with them for about 2.5 weeks. When I signed up with them, the partnership process took 2 to 3 months to get your AdSense removed and get added to their network, which is an incredibly long time by other standards. Now, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they are a fairly new network, although BBTV isn't. And they just have some trouble getting linked in with YouTube and getting all that stuff set up. They also have some massive communication issues. Since it is a new network, they do seem to rely on volunteers, and unfortunately a lot of those volunteers are under the age of 18, it seems, or right around 18. And I don't mean any disrespect to the younger audiences, but when you're dealing with business, especially when you're an adult yourself, it's kind of nice if you can deal with somebody who isn't a volunteer, who is a paid employee and can answer your questions. And a lot of times the support at TGN doesn't know a whole lot, doesn't know the big picture, as they are just volunteers. And so a lot of times you will know more than they do, and it gets really frustrating when you just try to get some answers for questions that you have, specifically specifics. And there's a lot of misinformation. When I first signed up, it was a guaranteed CPM, and then no, it's actually a rev share, and it was just a mess, which is why I wasn't with them for very long. This year, they've also replaced their CEO. According to the official statement, George stepped down to be with his family, but I don't know. It just doesn't ring very true. George was very motivated about TGN, and there was a lot of problems with TGN. A lot of people were dissatisfied. There was a lot of hate on the forums, a lot of videos being posted of people being frustrated, and he just happened to disappear at the same time. So there were rumors that he got fired. I don't know. I don't have any proof that he did. It wouldn't surprise me. TGN really needed a change around, and George, I'm sure, is a nice guy, but he was running things, and he seemed to be running it kind of straight into the ground. My final complaint with TGN was their CPM. And CPM, for those of you who are not familiar with YouTube, is cost per mile. It's basically how much a partner gets paid for 1,000 ad impressions. And TGN, in my experience, has the lowest payouts of any network that I am familiar with. That is Yoush, Fullscreen, Machinima, and the Maker Studio group of networks. They pay about half. They're about 50 cents less than Machinima. Of course, Machinima has lowered their standards recently, and some of their payouts are pretty low too. So make sure you read your contracts. TGN has replaced their contracts 6 times this year. They had a normal contract when I signed in March. Then they changed it to an edge contract, then a 60% contract, an 80% contract, now a 100% contract. And now in the fine print, it's actually a 60-40 contract. They do advertise it will pay you 100% of what you earn, when in reality you only earn 60% of what you earn after the Google split. It is actually, it's downright lying. So I don't know why they were pushing a 100% contract for a while. It just puts a bad taste in your mouth. You know, you expect, you trust these people to say one thing, and they're like used car salesmen. They'll tell you what you want to hear, and then when you actually sign the contract, turns out you're getting something completely different. So make sure you read the fine print on all of your contracts, regardless of what network you guys are with. These people are wanting to get you in so they can get a cut of your revenue, and that's about it. So make sure that you are protecting yourself, because they are not your advocate and they don't have your back. You are the only person that can have your back. So, and sadly, there's a lot. I mean, hell, they released a contract that had a bunch of BS in it just to get people to sign it so they could say, see, that's why you sign contracts. And you don't do that as a business. Anyways, hopefully you guys liked this video. Hopefully I wasn't too unfair. Tomorrow I'll be covering Maker Studio /RPM, which is the network that I'm with. Feel free to leave any questions you have in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer them. And if you have any specific questions about specific networks, leave them there and I'll try and cover them when I cover that video. If you liked the video, click the like button. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.